So look, we're going to move into our strategy, which is item 10. So Kataraina and Dorothy, if we could come through. Councillor Case, I will move the recommendation. Councillor Casey will second. It's now up for discussion and comment, and then I'll open it up for questions only, and then we can have comments. Kia ora, tēnā kōrua.
Kia ora, Chair. I hope I do this right. Tēnā koutou katoa tanofa lava and no ia. And we take the agendas full, we take the report as read, and we're taking any part-time.
There you go. So everybody's read the report, and thank you for that. So Councillor Dalton, you're first up. Yep, you want to declare conflict of interest. Are there any other alcoholics?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, there's about 4. yeah. So Councillor Cooper's just going to have a wine.
Chair, it's Councillor Newman here. I'm sorry, I'll have to declare conflict on this one as well.
Okay, and also online, if you just say it, please. Sorry.
Councillor Newman.
Thank you. So, Councillor Dalton, Pātai.
Yes, thank you. So I have declared a conflict, but I want to just ask a question about the internal report, the internal strategy. So not necessarily around the alcohol piece. Is that all right?
Yeah. Look, so my understanding, and I've learnt this many years ago, is that even if you declare a conflict of interest, if the question is around clarification, legally it's okay. And my understanding with your pātai is that of clarification. So I have no issues with that.
Look, it's an excellent review. You've done a whole lot of work in here. It must have taken you quite a while. My one question I have is, do we have any other strategies that are internal for the internal council whānau across any of our other policies, I suppose, or plans?
Kia ora through the chair. This is slightly unusual in that it's an internal strategy that was adopted by council. We don't actually have many of them. Generally, internal strategies are approved by the executive leadership team, but in 2012 this was an internal facing strategy, but it was adopted by our council committee.
I just have a reflection and comments if you want me to do it now.
Yeah, so look, there was another response to your pātai, and then I'll save the comments till after, so then when our staff move back, we can then debate it. Kia ora.
Thank you for the question, and thank you, Kataraina. So in addition to Kataraina's comment, we do have a number of other more operational strategies of how we work within council. So other ones that we're working on, for example, are a people strategy. We have work that we're doing around health and safety, maintaining the health, safety and well-being of our people. So there's quite a number of different items like that. Thank you.
Any further pātai, whether it be in the room or online? I haven't. Hold on, a conflict of interest, got that one. So it doesn't appear to be. So to you both, thank you so much. We'll then now get into the debate and commentary. So Councillor Dalton.
I read the whole document and I just wondered around, I understand the purpose, but I wonder about the effectiveness. So it was first adopted in 2012. It had a review in 2016. I don't see, I can't find that there were any outstanding or any good outputs from it. And it's had another review and it's wanting. So we're going to put something, what the recommendation today is that we put something in there that's a bit more meaningful. I just feel that it's too high. I mean, the things that were out of scope, 3 of the points that were out of scope are actually the things that make the difference to this particular topic. And I'm just struggling with how this internal strategy is delivering the outcomes. And more than that, my head is around the cost the cost of the strategy. So the cost of doing this review and the review before, and a review that will come again, and where this actually sits as a piece of work that will deliver on the outcomes, because we've got lots of internal departments and relationships, CAD, Course Collective, Healthy Families, who are actually working in our space and they are delivering on the outcomes. But I can't see that this particular strategy is doing that. So it was really around the cost of maintaining that strategy.
Would that be better to get the information back to you?
Look, even just an offline conversation, and I apologise I didn't do that before this meeting today, but I've been thinking about how we're looking at what we do and where we might be able to have some savings, and I'm not suggesting that we should have savings in this space related to this topic, but certainly the process of maintaining an internal strategy at that high level.
So thank you for your comment. We will need to look into, I need to understand a little bit more about the cost because I don't have that detail, and we're happy to do that. The question around implementation is an important one, and we need to think carefully about how we implement that, and we would need to do that with other colleagues, including our team from People and Capability, because some of the implementation around how do we support the well-being of teams comes into this, and how is it all integrated in terms of a plan. So we will be having conversations with our policy team regarding their recommendations and what we might need to do differently in practice. I hope that answers your question.
Just one point about that. So when you're talking about the wellbeing of your team, so you're saying the internal strategies around reducing harm amongst staff? Because I looked for that in there, and I actually think that it is a strategy around making sure that in every decision we make, we are trying to reduce to minimise alcohol harm, not necessarily on our staff, even though it's an internal strategy.
Well, yeah, look, so I think one of the key things I think is no, because we're in the debate. What I think would happen is that the offline conversation, as said earlier, that will be the better way forward in regards to this, is the offline. So is that okay with you, Councillor Dalton?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Collins, look, my apologies, and I know you've just come back. Is there any chance, because our staff now have sort of gone back to the table, but we're just into the debate, if you want to send those questions through to Maya or directly through to Kataraina?
Thanks, Chair, and sorry, I was just joined, so my apologies for coming back late, and happy to send those questions through.
Thank you. And have you got any comments before I put the recommendation?
Oh, yeah, if you were asking me specifically, I do have a few comments, if that's okay, Chair.
Yeah, no problems, and then I'll put the recommendation.
Look, I'm really glad I read the report, and I think the report is really good. The questions that I was going to ask was just kind of looking at some challenges, or I think some issues that were raised in the report around leadership and visibility of that leadership as far as this particular strategy is concerned. I guess the reason why I have a particular interest in this is because I think for some time, all of us have wanted to see the harm related to alcohol decrease, and so I'm glad that the strategy is being revisited, being reviewed, and I'm looking forward to being kind of having some form of contribution and some oversight of it. So I'm glad it'll come back to this committee. I think in the long term, or even in the medium term, for me, I'm looking at how we make sure that there's visible leadership over the strategy, how we might be able to support communities, and I know that there's discussion here about it being an internal strategy, but I'd like to see ways in which we can encourage communities to really understand how objections can work, how they can be notified of what's going on, so that they feel like they've been that they can contribute as well. I acknowledge that there've been a number of stakeholders who've been involved in this process to date, and that's really good because it's important that everyone feels like they have a voice to all of this. So I hope that we really look to how we might strengthen the strategy, how it's appropriate for us to how it becomes more fit for purpose, and I think it's going to be a really useful discussion for all of us to have over the next period. So thanks, Chair, for that for the opportunity to speak to it.
Yeah, whakatailawa whanana, and yeah, look, the conversation's no problems at all with Kataraina. So look, it's been moved and seconded. I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 11.